All right. Thank you. So now we're jumping right into the next session. And this session is preparing for a life after school. And and we have great panelists who are going to do justice to this topic, preparing for life after school. This is a very crucial topic because, I mean, if you don't prepare well, then you feed the unemployment pipeline, and that is not what we want. So for this session, we have Natalie Williams, the founder. Nat will speak all the way from the United States of America. Then we have Valentine Okafor, Effective Leadership and Productivity Strategist, Nigeria. And we have Uju Ona, a PhD candidate at Memorial University, Newfoundland, Canada. So, and then the moderator for this session is our own Ascharman, our MC for the day. She's also the Business Development Manager in AFCON, United Arab Emirates. That is Dubai to be precise. She's also our regional coordinator for Grand Africa Initiative in the East African region. So Cynthia Ascharman is a Kenyan born with an engineering background, instrumentation and control major, residing in the UAE as a business development manager at Interafcon, an oil and gas company with a focus on the Mozambican market. She's responsible for business strategies, commercial and partnership agreements, new market initiatives, strong business relationships, and services implementations. She's an experienced technical operator in FMCG manufacturing companies, having diverse knowledge in systems and operations, both in procurement and engineering departments. Appointed as Mozambique chapter leader at World Women Conference and Awards in 2020-2021, an organization that aims at connecting power women from all sectors around the world. She's the founder and CEO at Tetco Group, a Mozambican company that focuses on powering up communities through global collaborations in the renewable energy, recycling, and agricultural sector. She's the Global Union and Missions Ambassador to Kenya, a Switzerland-based organization that aims to empower, rescue, and protect lives of people around the world. And finally, the regional coordinator for Grand Africa Initiative in the East African region. So you're welcome, Cynthia Ascharman, for this session. You have our attention, please.
Thank you, Ms. Chino, for that really great introduction. I feel honored. I feel very honored to be here, and it's such a transition from an MC to a moderator. I appreciate that opportunity. Within my panel, I have Val Okafor, I have Natalie Williams, and I have Uju Honor. It's a great panel. I've had discussions with them before, and they're really amazing. And we just want to talk about preparing for a fulfilling life after school. So this is how the panel is going to go. Everyone will have 5 minutes to just talk about themselves, how they went through schools, 5 minutes each, and then later I'll get into the questions that I've set for you, and let's see how we can prepare the youths who are going through school or just are out of school right now, how they can prepare themselves for the world out there. I will start with the ladies, of course. I will start with Natalie Williams. Talk about yourself. Tell us something about yourself, how you got to where you are in 5 minutes, please. Thank you so much.
So hi. I'm super excited to be here. I'm really actually like beaming with joy right now. My name is Natalie Williams, and I am from America. I live in Missouri right now, and I am a college instructor, so I teach at the college level. I'm also a public speaker, so I get to travel. America, and I get to visit different states and colleges and universities and talk to students about college. I get to talk to them about professional development and how to prepare themselves for life after college. I'm also a PhD candidate, so I'm in the 3rd year of my PhD program. And then last but not least, I'm also an author. So I recently wrote and published my first book, Interview, so INNER, Lessons in Leadership. And so it looks at the biggest lessons in life and leadership that I've learned, and I get to share that with the world. And so if you're interested in getting a copy, you can head over. It's on Amazon. to grab a copy. But one thing about me is I'm really big on relationships. I think that relationships can be a very good way for us to be able to find success after college. And those relationships can be mentor relationships. It can be really good friendships that help encourage us and inspire us. And so I'm really big on relationships. I'm really big on positive relationships. And because my book is titled In Nerve You, I'm really big on thinking and reflecting and asking yourself, what do I want for life after college? Where can I have the biggest impact? Where can I be the most effective? And so it's really important for us to live with ourselves and for us to ask ourselves those questions so that we can be real with ourselves and say, where can I have the most impact? And we're going to talk about it a little bit later in the presentation, but a lot of times it sounds really daunting to ask ourselves, what's my purpose? And so I think that an easier way to digest that question is to ask ourselves, what's my place of impact? And where have I been the most impactful in the past? And when we reflect, we'll see that there have been a lot of things in common. And so that's who I am. That is what I do. And I'm super excited to be on this panel, and I'm super excited to join all these other scholars and professionals to be able to share our wisdom and to share our experiences with you all, because I did find a job right after college and I did not like it. And because I did not like it, I was able to find out, what do I want to do? What makes me happy? How can I change other people's lives? How can I change my own life? And so based off of my experiences, I am super duper excited to be able to share those experiences with you all. And so that's who I am. That's what I do. And that's a little bit about me. And I do want to say it is 9 a.m. in America here. So I'm up early, enthusiastic, and super excited to be here with you all today. So thank you for the opportunity.
We can feel the energy, Natalie. It's 9 a.m. and you can feel the energy. Trust me on that one. So I'll get right to Val. Please, just in 5 minutes, tell us about yourself, and then I'll have a deeper conversation with.
All right. So thank you very much, Cynthia. Thank you, Ms. Chinwe. Thank you, the entire me. I've been following all the session and I'm pretty impacted. And I feel that this session will also bring impact every person who is on here. So my name is Valitani Food Ukafo. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian and a fresh graduate of social work from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So what I do is very simple. I help people overcome identity crisis. I help people to master their skills so that they can effectively make the next person by their side a better version. That's my biggest passion, to make the next person by my side a better version of him or herself. All right. So that's pretty much of what I do through my books, through my public speaking engagements, and all. So I'm going to keep it short and simple. When we dive into the conversation, you get to know more of me and what I do. Thank you very much, Cynthia.
Thank you, Val. Thank you so much for your introduction. I'll get to Uju Honor. Please introduce yourself, and we'll get deeper into the conversation later.
Okay.
Uju, please.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. My name is Uju Honor, and I'm from Nsukka, Enugu, Nigeria. And I grew up in Nsukka. All my life revolves around Nsukka. So I had my undergrad at the University of Nigeria, my master's too, and I'm a lecturer at the University of Nigeria. I graduated top of my class twice and top of the faculty once. So, and here I am for my PhD. I'm sponsored by the Canadian government to do my PhD in Inuit cultural study, comparing it to the Igbo part of where I come from. So, and again, I am a lawyer. I had a second degree in law. So let me just say, when we start talking out deep into how I got here and everything, because it's one stage at a time. And if I take everything together and put in my introduction, you might miss it. But let me just say that what I love doing is I teach in Nsukka, and I teach here too in my school. I teach undergrad students here, and I also engage people in scholarship scholarship chances, and then encourage people, kind of mentor people in education career, especially women and people that feel marginalized. So this is more of what I want to do, and this is why I'm here, and I'm glad to connect with this number of people. We really have a lot of people here, and I'm really glad here. Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much, Uju. Thank you so much. I know you have a story to tell, and I have questions that will get your story out, and all of us will benefit from your experiences and will be inspired to go forward and not stopping and just finding our places of impact. So I'll get to you, Val. I just want to know what you feel is common misconceptions of, young and actually old, because these days, I mean, education is not for just the young. What are those common misconceptions that people have with regards to life in school or after school? And if so, how can we combat this misconception, especially in the education
Thank you
sector?
very much, Cynthia, for that all important question. So let me just give you one general misconception about people towards education, and that is an escape route out of poverty. A lot of people think that education is an escape route out of poverty, but it could be, but I think it's more of helping you to have an open mind, helping you to be liberated, helping you to see more into yourself. So it's not just an escape route out of poverty, because if you go with that mindset, you may be disappointed because unemployment will hit you hard, especially if you're from this part of the world. So that's one misconception. I want everybody here listening, if you're an undergraduate, great. If you're an undergraduate in any African university, please just note that education gives you an open mind. Education is an opportunity for you to look into yourself, harness your potentials and your God-given talents. That's what education does for you. It gives you an independent mind to think, all right? So, and then to help you better harness your gifts, your potential, so that your lives of those around you. So stop seeing education as an escape route out of poverty. It could be, but that's not the major thing. It gives you an open mind to think, right? Yeah. So that's my answer to that. That's the major misconception, and I hope that this answer does.
Yeah, thank you so much, Val. That's really good. I actually grew up with the motto, education is is the weapon to poverty, and now the world is changing and we're coming to see, no, not necessarily, but it just opens your mind to look at things differently, to look at opportunities differently. And now I will go to Uju, because I really need to know her story. All of you guys need to know her story and be inspired. So I'll start by asking you, what are the biggest challenges of being a student or leaving school? And I'm taking that all back from, where you grew up.
Well, I'll say my biggest challenge was my environment. That's my background. It was kind of a very discouraging environment. And the second one was finance. My background, in the sense that the only industry there is the University of Nigeria. And if you're not in the University of Nigeria, you are doing nothing in Nsukka. So that's where I grew up. I had my primary school. My parents actually work in the university, so I had, and I don't. Let me just use the word. I wasn't exposed to know things about education. I just know how to read my book and pass my exams. So, and that was what my parents were teaching us. And I have a lot of siblings that all they do was read our book and pass our exams. So I didn't really have this exposure to climb. So that was my major challenge. And another thing was finance. I wasn't brought up in my parents were not so wealthy. And again, I had a lot of siblings and a lot of people living with us. So the major thing my parents can afford was just be in a normal school. I wasn't in the best schools and having the best and everything in the world. But that was my worst challenge, and I still put through. When I look at my back and look at where I am today, I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. Probably is destiny, but I think everything. I am here already and I'm making my table.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think I will speak for the majority of the African youth. I've gone through the same issues, the environment, of course, and financial issues that you have to it's really far from achieving it, but you're an inspiration wherever you've done with yourselves. You've put out yourself there, you've really worked hard to get there. I mean, it's amazing. And I'll get back to you. We still need to know more about that journey. I'll get to Natalie, and I just want to ask you, how do you find your place of impact after college? And I'm asking you that because I know you go to colleges, talk about this thing. And for you, when I had a discussion with you, you found your place of impact. How do we get to do that?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Finding your place of impact, it honestly comes from a place of self-reflection, where you just take the time and you ask yourself, how can I do this? What do I enjoy doing? What do I do well? What are some things that I do well that I'm currently doing right now, that if I could do this for a long period of time or the rest of my life, I would be happy? What am I doing right now for free that I do really well? What problems do I solve? How do I help other people? And so you may take the time and ask yourself that question, and you may find out that you are really good with working with children. So then you may want to go into teaching, or you may actually people start their own businesses. So maybe you're just really business smart, business savvy. And so then you may want to go into entrepreneurship, starting your own business where you help other people start their businesses. Maybe you really enjoy training people. You really enjoy making people feel comfortable in a new environment. And so then you may want to do human resources for a business or an organization. And so when you look at your places of impact, you also want to reflect on where you have been impactful before. So if you are in college or at university, you may right now, you may be helping, say you're in your senior year, but you find a lot of joy in helping first year, maybe you're in year 4. So maybe you find joy in helping first year students feel comfortable, and you want to show them everything that you learned. And so then maybe your place of impact could be helping guide college students. And so finding your place of impact honestly comes from a place of self-reflection. It comes from a place of being realistic with yourself, especially when you ask yourself, what do I do well? So maybe you don't do accounting and finance really well. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you are more of a creative person on the side of writing. You have to be realistic with yourself, right? If accounting and finance and numbers is going to be working in accounting, no, because you may not do that well and you won't be satisfied. You'll probably be frustrated, because all you have to do is reflect and be honest with yourself and figure out, what do I do well? Where am I making the most difference? And how can I help other people as well as help myself?
Where you find your joy, that is how you know how to find your place of impact. That's very encouraging. And now over to you, Val. I will just, as a leadership strategist, and at a young age, I must say, what has helped you to get where you are, and what advice would you have for others who that want to set off on a similar direction?
All right, so Natalie said it all, find your place of impact. I would say discover what makes you different from the 7.2 billion people in the world, much more as unique human beings. So we're here with unique skills, unique talents. So discover what makes you different from the next person by your side. All right, so it could be singing, it could be writing, it could be speaking, anything at all. Everyone needs to do. And then secondly, whatever you're aspiring, wherever you want to be, someone else has gone before you. So the right mentorship is necessary. You need the right mentorship, okay? So if you don't want to engage in trial and error, then you need to look at those who have gone ahead of you and then learn from them. So basically for me, I look up to people who have gone ahead of me, especially in this area of transformational leadership and productivity. So I look at what they've done and I model them, all right? You can't copy success. You can only watch and replicate, all right? You can only watch what people have done and then try to do it your own way. So that's my advice to anybody who is listening. Wherever you want to be, someone is already there. So look at what they're doing and then copy. They've already made all the mistakes for you, so you just need to look at what they've done and then replicate. That's how to grow. All right, so that's my take.
Thank you so much, so much. And I will ask Uju the same question, because now it's the time to get all those juicy stuff from within ourselves. Let us learn from you. What has helped you to get where you are, and what advice would you have for others who have want to set off in a similar direction? If I want to have a PhD, and of course I have the same environmental issues and same financial issues, what has helped you, and how can I get to where you are?
Thank you, Cynthia. The simplest answer is hard work. Hard work and resilience says it all. Hard work in the sense that in the discouraging environment, you're still working hard. Less finance, you're still working hard. How will I put it? Not responding, you're still working hard. Let me give an instance. During my undergrad, there's this place I like. I go for night class every day. Like, I got this name in my hostel, that night class girl. So, and at some point, my roommates were making jazz of me, like, you don't even sleep on your bed. Fine, I know what I was pursuing. I know I was pursuing to be the top of my class, but at some point, it was as if I'm out of the world. I'm making the wrong thing, and everybody's living their life as a normal girl, and I'm the one that is so into GP and all that. But I didn't relent. I know what I was looking for. I had a space in, I don't know whether, I think the building is not there again. Do they still have prefab in UNN? Something like that, or something like ESA building. That was where every night you see me there. Good. So I was always there, and I had this friend that both of us were always going there, and we spend our nights on books every day. You find out that at some point, if I have exam the next morning, I will not sleep all through the night. I will sleep after the exam. But he paid me, because let me digress a little. Before I got into archaeology, what I did was archaeology, and that's what I'm still doing. I was supposed to be in law, but I had some issue. So when I pumped into archaeology, my mates were already into exams. Like, I started my first year, 2 weeks to first semester exams, and I was floating. I didn't know what archaeology was. And my classmates were like, this one, where are you coming from? So I didn't let that get to me. I picked up. I got people's notebooks. I crammed. I got a lot of things. I'll just close my eyes in the exam hall and refresh all the paper. And that was how I got through my first semester. After my first semester, my HOD started looking for me. And I didn't know I could do it. There are some people that even start school 2 months before the start date, but they will not work hard. They will just be OES members. They will not even have notes. They will not even make references. They will not even engage in the library, or even, I can still remember my classmate that never used the library card till she graduated. And when she said, the day she saw my library card all torn, I was using sellotape to get it up. She was like, how did your library card get this torn? So, like, I use it every day. So, wow. You know, but I think in that aspect, where you still have friends that will feel like you're very stupid, are you the only one in this university? You know, are you the only one that wants to graduate with this grade? You know, are you the only one that was, at some point, some of my classmates said that they used the word "namna chapa lecturer nanya." Yes, so that it means like I'm always attracted to a lecturer, but but the thing is, during I think it was my third year that some of my lecturers knew my name. My third year they knew my face. They just know my name. So, and at that point I was like, so they don't even know me all this while I was having this thing that, but I keep telling people, work hard, no matter where you see yourself, no matter, sometimes there's this friend I had. She's from a very poor. Day I met her in the library, and she was like, she's dizzy. I was like, she has not eaten for the whole day. I said, no, you don't read without food. You eat before you read. And after that, we became friends, and I was helping her a little. And that's the kind of people you need around you. People that really want to strive despite what they're going through. They really want to get there. So that kind of people, you make them your friend because you have a target. Fine, I still dress well. I still go for parties, but you're not going to see me there. Or any party that was fixed during my test and all that, you're not going to see me there. But I was still active. So I keep telling people, just work hard. I have not seen anybody that worked hard I didn't pay. Stop giving excuses. Stop saying that I don't have this books, I don't have this textbook. I can still remember during my third year, there was this lady that made joke of me in my class and said, I never bought a textbook of tourism, but I will always be the best in a tourism course. And that was true. Because then, my mind wasn't still in archaeology. I still wanted to go back to law. And each year, I was still writing JAM to go back to law. It was in my third year, my HOD called me. I was like, your GP is actually so top. You cannot live here and go to law. Finish this degree and then go back to law. That was how I stayed back. And I was doing these things that some people are around me. I know some girls that had their parents will buy them all the textbooks they need, but they cannot even open it. They will just open it if there's an. Go and copy that textbook and come and paste for the lecturer for the assignment, and that's all. Do you know those kind of people? Make them your friend. When you make them your friend, you'll be reading all their textbooks, and then they will come to you and say, how do you do it? You don't tell them, oh, summary of your textbook. You are refreshing what is your memory. It is staying there. So you are learning, and you've made use of that friend, and you've made use of all his or her resources. Another people to make friend when you're in your hard work journey is people that have internet access. Like during my time in the UNN, this Wi-Fi thing wasn't so popular. It was going off and on. But I had a friend that she was always on Facebook. So she doesn't like missing. She always has data. And that friend, she's not good with writing her assignments. So I'll be like, fine, let's write our assignment together in the library, in the basement library, but you're going to on your Wi-Fi for me. So she agrees. So I use her Wi-Fi. You get? So in this aspect, it was really challenging at some point, but you still have people around you that misplace priorities. That's what I call it. They misplace priorities, and those people make use of them. They are your friend. Don't let them go, and don't just let them be your friend, or don't shy away from them. Another aspect of this hard work is when they are going to make joke of you, or even call you names, or call you bookworm. Yes, I got that name, bookworm. When they say bookworm, you shake your head. Yes, I am a bookworm, and so, because you know where you're going. So at the end of it, I say everything ties towards hard work and resilience. Don't go back. Don't look back. Keep pushing. You'll get there.
Oh, Uju, I wish I was your friend as I was growing up, because you would have taught me all these innovative ways on going through, but I'm sure everyone who is joining in and they're in school, they now know who to go to, whose Wi-Fi to use, whose books to use, and then we can all make our lives better. So anyway, thank you so much. I feel inspired already. It's really inspiring that we need to have our priorities right, and then that will push us to really work hard, and it will push us to know what group of people we want to have within our circle. And that will lead me to my next question to Natalie. What do you think is the role of mentorship in making post-college professional decisions? And of course, after all the challenges that, myself and Uju probably have gone through the school, then what do you think mentorship comes in this matter?
Mentorship is so important. Mentorship is crucial. It is essential. It gives you a good roadmap and a good blueprint on how to be successful. It allows you to learn from other people's successes as well as other people's failures. Mentorship saves you time. It saves you so much time. I remember having the conversation with Val when we, all of us that are on the panel got together and had a conversation. And Val said something that was so powerful for me. And he said that like what it took someone 20 years to learn through trial and error can take you maybe 2 years, because you've learned from their successes, their failures. They gave you the blueprint as to how they did it. And so it can take you less time to be able to do what it is that they've done. You still have to put in the work. You still have to work hard, but they save you so much time so you don't have to keep bumping your head against things that may not work. And so mentorship is important. However, I do want to say this. We're talking about mentorship and we're going to rave and speak very positively about mentorship. I do want to say this. It's not just mentorship that is good. It's good mentorship that is good. You want to make sure you find good mentors. And so even in the book, I talk about that. 3 things that all mentors should have. So when you are looking for mentorship in a person or in people, because you should have multiple mentors, you want to make sure your mentors have these 3 things. You want to make sure that your mentor has the heart for mentorship, that they want to do this, that they want to help you, that does not want to do, right? That's like you asking me to make you pizza, right? I love pizza here in America. That's like you asking me, hey, Natalie, can you make me pizza? And I do it, but I give you the worst attitude with it, right? When it's time for me to hand you the plate, I just throw it to you. Instead of me saying, oh, absolutely, I'll make you pizza. Here you go. So you want to make sure they have the heart for mentorship. You also want to make sure they have the experience for mentorship. Giving the same example of making pizza, imagine if I don't know how to cook. Imagine if I'm using expired food to make it. That will make you sick, right? I can be the nicest person in the world, but I don't have the experience with cooking. I could then harm you because I don't have that experience. And so I can't cook in real life. That was just an example. I'm a good cook. So we talked about the heart. We talked about the experience, and then you also want to make sure they have the intention. They have good intentions with being your mentor, that they have your best interest at heart, because you don't want to get somebody that agrees to be your mentor, but they want to control you. They want to lead you down a path of bad stuff. You want to make sure that they're not going to be jealous of you, because what happens when you are mentoring somebody or you're getting mentored is that the mentee can go further than the mentor a lot of times. And so we talked about, it can take you 2 years to do what they did in 20 years. If that's the case, you now have 18 years to go even further than what they did in 20. And so you want to make sure that they have the heart for it, that they want to be your mentor. You want to make sure they have the experience for it. Is no matter how nice they are, that they have the knowledge you're looking for, and then that they have the intention so that they want to see you succeed, and they are A-okay with you going even further than they have ever probably been able to go. And so I think mentorship is important. I've found some amazing mentors, and I've learned a lot from mentors that probably weren't the best mentors. And so it's really important that you take those moments of reflection to say and to double check. It's like having a checklist. Does this person have what it takes to be able to help guide me in a certain area of my life? And one last thing, as I begin to wrap up my answer to your question, is you want to make sure that when it comes down to mentorship, you have a variety of mentors. No one person should be your everything. You want to make sure you have mentors that can help you academically, that can help you professionally, that can help you spiritually, if that's your thing. They can help you financially, not them giving you money, but them teaching you how to make money, and then them teaching you how to save money. Maybe socially, emotionally. So you want to make sure you have a wide variety of mentors.
Thank you, Natalie, because I think you read my mind, because I was going to ask you that question. Should I just have one mentor for all the aspects in my life? But
because people pass away. I do want to say this, and not to sound negative or morbid, people die. People take jobs in a new country, in a new state, in a new place. You don't have just one person person moves out of the country, out of the continent, that person passes away or something happens where that person can no longer give you as much time as they did, then you are left without direction. So it's important to have multiple mentors in different areas, and you can even have multiple mentors in one area. So you can have multiple professional mentors, multiple academic mentors as well.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope the audience they're taking notes, because some of these things myself I did not know. I just thought I should hang on that one person who sometimes we look at someone and we feel that he's made it, and we feel that he's made it in all aspects of his or her life, and we want to hang on that person. But now, like you said, we really need just to have a variety, academically, socially, and every other aspect of all, and spiritually, of course, we do not forget that. And thank you so much for your points. And over to you, Val. I know as you're growing up, we grew up in an environment that we are sort of, cultured into that environment. So what do you think is the most critical change that we must make to face the future effectively, and especially if you're already out of school, change that we must face?
All right, thank you, Cynthia. Please just permit me for 1 minute to add to what Uju said when she was mentioning hard work and resilience as part of the ingredients to achieving greatness in life and academics. So let me just add this. This is very important. Hard work, resilience, fantastic. But I would want listeners to also bear this in mind. You need to have a vision, right? So you can be working hard, you can be resilient, but you can also face burnout, especially when things are not working the way you're putting in the work. You're doing other things, but you're not seeing much result. So you need to be visionary, because vision is a mental picture of the kind of future you desire, right? So you're desiring a future you want to be part of. I think that's where your eyes need to be on, your big picture. It will help you to overcome certain obstacles. I like to say this, Cynthia, you relate to this very well. In 1971, Dubai was a complete desert. I mean, nobody would want to go to Dubai for vacation, for school, or anything. So today people say, oh, I want to go to Dubai for vacation, I want to go spend holiday there. But 1971, it was complete desert. I would run away if you gave me a free visa. But it took vision to be able to achieve that jewel of the world. It took vision. I believe they were working hard, and they had mockers all around. People were saying this vision is not going to be possible, but the leader or the ruler had seen the Dubai of 2020, and so he rallied around all of his stakeholders, and they were able to get it done. So whatever you're doing, you must put in hard work, you must put in resilience, but you must have a consistent vision. That is what is your strongest motivation. All right. So back to your question. Thank you for giving me the time to elaborate on that. So back to your question, one of the things you need to do to be able to effect a critical change, either maybe you're still in school or you're just a fresh graduate, is to first of all understand what it is you want to do. What do you want out of life? Okay, so and that points me back to purpose. Yes, remember I said that education gives you an open mind. It helps you to think beyond your geographical location. It helps you to think beyond your village, your locality. All right, so what is the one thing you want out of life? I knew what I wanted before I got into school. I knew I want to be a solution provider and not part of the problem to be solved. I knew that. So I was already volunteering for non-governmental organizations. I would do this, I would do that in church. I was just organizing things. It was not clear what I was doing. I didn't understand what I was doing, but I was just doing. Right? That was just an expression of who I am, of what I want to do, So that was bubbling on my mind. And when I saw courses, I chose social work because that related well to my person, to my personality, to my capacity. So you must understand what you want. What do you want out of life? Are you going to school because every other person is going to school? Are you going to school because you want to be called a doctor, a pharmacist, a lab tech? Actually go in with a focus. So that will save you a lot of stress. Now, when you come out, you're not confused as to what am I to, I'm a graduate now, what do I need to do? Such questions will never exist. It's going to be, what do I need to consolidate on? Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to share my vision with? So that is very important. What do you want out of life? If you answer this question, everything becomes easy for you. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I allowed you to speak the 2 minutes because I know everything that you prepared for us is very important for us to get inspired. And of course, we have to be visionary and let's see how we can be solution providers, finding that part where we can be solution providers. And over to you, Uju. I just want to ask you, is there anything that you experienced? And of course, I know you have a lot of experiences, but is there this one experience that you wished as a student, a postgraduate student, do you think do you have this experience that you wish you would have done differently? And if you were to do it over, what would you have done?
Okay, this is a good question because I made mistakes too. And some I was able to correct, because I don't like losing my time. So, but some I know I cannot correct it again. I'm just trying to make up for it. My first mistake I made was not taking up personal programs during my undergrad. Well, that one was because the kind of, let me just say, the UNN sector that I started with, they weren't teaching us like you can do your personal thing, you can do your personal research, you can do your personal thing. They were just teaching us to focus on your class, write, do this, do just what the lecturer asks you to do. Don't, like, thinking out of the box wasn't really like what lecturers were saying in class. And that was the first thing I started saying to my students from 2015 immediately I started teaching. I said, no, this is a mistake I made, because sometimes I have friends that are probably outside Nigeria, and when I read their CV, you start seeing what they have done during their undergrad. And here I am right now. I still have some students I'm teaching that have taken up programs and research personally, and probably they already, the province is already looking for them as consultants, as still undergraduate students. I didn't know anything about that when I was an undergrad. I didn't even know I can do something. When I came here, immediately I came here, what I did was I had friends. I just, like how I used to do, I picked the smart guys. So when I picked them, I asked them to submit their CV to me to just help me gather my CV into Canadian CV style. When I read this guy's CV, I was really, really intimidated. Jeez. I know I have achieved a lot being my age, but those things they did during the undergrad, I never did that. The only project I handled during my undergrad was my graduating program, like a final year project. But these people, as a second year, they're already going for field work. As a third year, they're already engaged in writing proposal for the province to take up or to participate in something. This might actually be my field, but no matter the field you find yourself now, think out of what I am teaching you in class. My two younger sisters are in College of Medicine, and I keep telling them, in any area you want to specialize in medicine, think of something different or something you want to be like. Is either you in this or nobody. So I think if undergrad students will keep, fine, let me think of how do they produce yogurts? How can enzymes grow in yogurt? How can these things they might not teach you in class, or they might teach you a part of it, but take it up, go and buy yogurt, read the ingredients, study what they are, pick up personal thing. And do you know when you do these things, you can sit down and write an article and start publishing. I never had any publication during my undergrad. No, my first publication was my project. And why I even published it was because I was already lecturing. Probably I was looking for something to promote me. Yeah, I want to climb in the academia. Else, I won't even touch my project. I would just go and dump it. But no, any project you do, it's your own your projects, especially when you're undergrad. Anything you did for your final year, no matter the supervisor or some supervisor would like to take over and say that my students, you are the student, but that project belongs to you. You're going to publish it. You own it. So that is what I tell people now, that was the mistake I made. I didn't take a project personally during my undergrad. I was just like doing my classwork, but there are some opportunities. Even, during this COVID now, I expected every student, undergrad student in the science sector, this COVID, especially if you're in Nigeria. Why is this COVID not so thriving how it's thriving in the cold regions? Ask yourself, use your brain, think it out. If you're in the science area, you must have an experience. You must have a result, even if it's not so clear. But once that idea just hits, run to your diary and write it down and close it. 2 years, 3 years time, that idea, you will start developing it. So my major mistake was not starting my personal projects during my undergrad. Probably that made me, I didn't have any publication during my undergrad. I started my publication during my master's, and now PhD, I'm struggling to meet up with my class here, my colleague here. I'm struggling to, like, they might be having like 30 publications. And when we go for conference, they'll be like, my publication in 10 years ago. And I'll be like, ooh, 10 years? So as at 10 years, what I was thinking was to pass and get my GP. Please, as you're passing and getting your GP, be using that point, that time to drop some points. Use that time to drop your point. Have this diary, that this idea, it might not be so perfect, it's not so clear, but that idea just came in. Just go and write it down. No matter what you're studying, no matter what you're doing, just go and write it down. It's going to help you in future. So that's the greatest mistake I did. Another mistake I did was, I grew up in a family that everybody is in professional course. So if not, that was, my siblings were like, every day they'll be I have like 4 medical doctors in my family. So every day they'll be talking about patient this, patient that, how to bone, but I don't know what I'm doing, that kind of thing. So, but that was what was pushing me to go back to law. If I knew, I would have focused majorly in archaeology, because I corrected it because I was getting my grade and finally I got my track. But that thing I did can actually derive somebody that is already on the way to getting a first class. It can actually make you, because you're not focused, can actually make you to be an average student, because probably you still want to go back to this professional course. Your mind is not here and your mind is not, and all that. So, but I think remain focused. Try to focus in one area. Finish this and enter this. It was already my 3rd year that my HOD called me and said, you are really doing well. Why do you want to go away? So imagine if I was making mistake or I wasn't doing so well till my 3rd year. I've already destroyed myself. I would have already destroyed my GP as at then. So this thing might not favor everybody how it favored me. But I would tell you, if you want to still have a 2nd degree, awesome. Because me, I was feeling I wasn't fulfilled till I had my law degree. I just had it last year. I started during my NYSC. I'm going to tell that story maybe in my next question, how I did the 2nd degree and how I did the multitasking. But if you're really feeling you're not fulfilled what you're doing now, focus on what you're doing now. When you finish, move to the 2nd one. Create that stage that after this 1st one, there is a 2nd one. Don't feel like, don't be halfway, you might really lose the track. So focus on one. So that would have been a very big problem to me, but thank God I overcame
Thank
that.
you so much, Uju. You're powerful. We're learning a lot from you. Your energy is amazing, and I can imagine everyone in the audience, they still feel the same energy from you. So Natalie, the conversation can go on and on and on. Of course, this is a topic that we can just chat about and continue chatting about. But what is this one practical advice that you will give to a student who's almost finishing school, or he or she just got out of school?
I would tell that student to take care of yourself. And so you hear us on the panel, we talk about, hard work and finding your place of impact, or maybe going back to graduate school to get a master's or a PhD or anything like that. You have to take care of yourself, because those accomplishments mean nothing if you are not okay. Those accomplishments mean nothing if you are completely exhausted, burned out, and you can't function. So as hard as you work, as much as you self-reflect, as much as you find your place of impact, as much as you are effective and you are just a rock star in your place of impact, you want to make sure you take the time to take care of yourself. And how do I know when I need to take care of myself? I'm so happy that you asked. You do the interview, you have that conversation with yourself, and you say, are my sleeping patterns healthy? Because yes, some of us have, we have accomplished great things and our resumes and our CVs look amazing. However, we know also that not getting enough sleep takes time off of your life on the back end, right? And so you want to make sure that you find that balance. You prioritize yourself as well. As important as it is for you to be amazing, for you to be awesome, for you to be a game changer and a world changer, you still have to take care of yourself. And why am I even able to speak about that? Because I am guilty as charged in the past of not always doing that. I am guilty as charged for having to work. And then I realized that I'm suffering from fatigue. I'm realizing that it's mentally weighing on me, right? But I got those good grades. I found my place of impact. I'm changing lives. I'm changing the world. But then I had to ask myself, who's taking care of Natalie? And so I would tell those students that it's really important that you prioritize yourself. And when you do that place of impact and you go from finding a place of impact to being the CEO, when you learned early on how to take care of yourself and you make that a staple, you make that an unchangeable part of your daily living, your daily schedule, you will continue to do that. So I would tell the students that finding your place of impact is so important, but even more important is you. Even more important is making sure you're okay, because a lot of people, when they see you as a solution, and Val mentioned that of being like a leadership strategist, right? What happens when you become 30 times better than what you are now, Val? And we already know like you are amazing. What happens when you become 30 times even better and you have people from across the globe knocking down your door, wanting you to come speak, wanting you to come lead these sessions, wanting you to be present, wanting you to train all of these people across the world? They see you as a solution. And so when people see you as a solution, you got to be real careful that they don't use you up. Because if people see you as a solution and they know that you have the answer and that you're going to do your job well and you're going to change the lives of those that you touch, everybody will want you. So you have to learn how to say no, which is really important, which is sometimes the hardest thing to do. You have to learn how to say no, and you have to learn how to take care of yourself, and you have to learn how to balance grit and grace. Grit says, I am going to work hard. I am going to put the work in. I am going to find my place of impact. I am going to be effective once I find my place of impact. I'm going to change the world as I'm in my place of impact. But grace says, I may not find my place of impact the day after I graduate. It may take me a little bit longer than what I would like. Grace says that's okay. Grace says find your pace of success, because everybody else will tell you how quick you should do something, right? I know a lot of times here in America, people say, oh, you should have kids not to me, but just in general to people, you should have kids and a family by this age. You should be making all of this money at this age. That does not happen for everybody on that same timeline. So you have to give yourself the grace with your own timeline to say, it's okay. I'm working hard, I'm making progress, and the progress that I've made is worthy of celebration, though it may not meet the status quo, though it may not meet the expectations of the whole world, or sometimes even of our families, but I know that I'm making progress, and I know that a step.
Wow, thank you so much, Natalie. That's really, really important. And I just want to throw that in, that it's not only in America. In Africa, we have a big problem. Third would be, stable job. It gives us pressure, but I mean, we're here, we're doing it, so it's fine. So Val, also I'll get to you. And of course, listening to Natalie, she asked, what if everyone in the world comes to you, okay? And what do you do? But I mean, that's a question that you'll ask yourself as a leadership strategist. But what is this one piece of practical advice you would want to give to a student or anyone who's finishing school?
Okay, so it's been an amazing time conversing with all of you. Natalie, thank you for that. I just remembered that Our body is just like the vehicle we're going to use to achieve our dreams. If this vehicle knocks down, I mean, nothing else. Will be forgotten, so it's good to take care of yourself. So I'll try to do that. And I hope that every other person tries to do that too. So one advice I'm going to give to everybody listening is that history of the world never celebrates efforts. The world doesn't celebrate I tried to. The world celebrates results. Okay. So in everything you do, be result oriented. Okay. So maybe you may be having a hard time trying to convince your parents that this is your passion, this is your purpose, this is what you love, and they're not agreeing. They're not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel in that thing you're saying. You just have to be result oriented. The only way you can cancel those doubts is to achieve great results. All right, so that's my advice. The world doesn't celebrate efforts. The world celebrates results. So you just have to be result oriented. The panelists have said, all right. So I mean, Nelson Mandela is dead. Martin Luther King Jr. is dead. Mahatma Gandhi is dead. Mother Teresa is dead. But we remember them for one thing. These guys did amazing things. So if nobody is saying they tried to stop oppression in America towards the blacks. Nobody is saying, oh, he tried to stop apartheid against South Africans. Nobody is saying, oh, he tried to stop oppression against Indians. Everything we talk about them is what they've done, so that's it. Just be result oriented, be focused, be visionary, and trust God.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much, Val. Thank you for your contribution. I will not ask Uju practical advice because I think she's given us a lot of practical advice. I will just like you to talk about, in 2 minutes, talk about how you managed to get your second degree and getting into consideration Natalie's words that you should take care of yourself. I want to know, how did you find that balance of getting 2 degrees but still taking care of yourself? Because as we all can see, you're really done well. You're looking good. So tell us about it.
I don't compete. You see, competition, it takes away your happiness. It takes away your time. It takes away your energy. So what I do is, when I realize that I'm already in the competition circle, I leave. For example, where you might be competing but you don't know is on social media. People come and post what they do, and post what you do, or rather, let me just say, they post pictures of their new job, their new thing, their new things they got, but you don't have it. You're already killing your joy. All these core members that want, like, less me and the clothes, you scrap it. So all those unnecessary competition, cut it off. It's taking your time. Unnecessary relationship, cut it off. It's taking your time. Unnecessary occasions or things that you know that this thing is actually not going to yield anything. It's not going to add any value to you. Do not attend. Because some occasions, you're going to still think of what to wear. You're going to think of how you're going to look. You're going to think of people you're going to meet there. All these things are taking your time. And at the end, the occasion is not going to add any value to yourself. So just find excuse and say, these days our family meeting, our family prayer, I won't come. You've already taken it away and you're just good at it. So, but I find a lot of problems when people don't really know how to fix all this thing is when you want to be here, you want to be there, you want to be everywhere. You don't even have priority. You don't even fix things yourself. You don't even know what you want. Yeah, let me use the word. You don't know what you want, because I find a lot of girls that keep saying, I don't know which guy to choose, because you don't know what you want. If you know what you want, you should know that if you're talking to a guy 4 hours every day and that guy don't really get to your heart, like you want to marry this person, you are wasting 4 hours every day today. So I see that put things on a priority scale of preference, take it one after the other. You will find time, you will find space to take care of yourself and fix it. During my law degree, I was still doing night class, but then I wasn't going to school. I was doing my night class in my house. And if I want to relax, reading in between, that is when I will call my boyfriend. You get? So, and that time, and if or let me say after my classes during NYC, that time that core members used to sit outside to come and talk nonsense. That is my sleeping time. So I try to escape every other time that things that don't add value to myself, I use it to take care of myself. And then I will find an excuse and say, I would have wanted to be here, but something came up, and fine, I had my peace. So.
Wow. Thank you so much. I just needed to know how you, and I think everyone has gotten how to take care of themselves. You have to prioritize. You have to know exactly what you want, so that when what you do not want comes your way, you're just like, no. Okay, so thank you so much for your insights. I will ask a bonus question, and actually 2 bonus questions to each one of you in very few minutes, 2 minutes each. Please, how do you think education has changed in the past 5 years? And what do you think will happen in the next 5 to 10 years? And I'll start with Natalie. Okay, yeah, I've unmuted you.
Okay. Education has changed drastically due to technology over the course of time, because now you can educate yourself on things that may not be taught at a university. You can educate yourself on how to become a YouTube star. And we're seeing that happen. We're seeing people in college working towards their degree really, really hard, but then also having a YouTube channel where they are making a lot of money, but they're also still in college. We're seeing people learn how to become entrepreneurs. We're seeing people learn in university how to become an entrepreneur. And then while they're still in a university, we're seeing them activated where they may have started a clothing line that has gone viral and taken off, and they're still working on their degree, but they're also shipping sweatshirts or t-shirts or anything like that across the world. And so we're starting to see that a lot more now. We're starting to see people be able to network, which it deals with education still, but people are able to network. People are able to be in one country and network with people in another country because of technology, or people are able to network across continents due to education being more technologically savvy. And so we're starting to see people use technology in order to create relationships that will help them go even further as they are taking advantage of their education. And I'm really excited to see where technology will take it even more. I think a lot of people across the world could not have expected that the pandemic would have put us all in this spot where we have to lean on technology as much in order to even do a lot of our day-to-day things. However, I'm excited to see where technology will take us as people in the world in the next 10 years, because we've now seen how technology can help us even more. Go to university, us to have virtual birthday parties, people to have virtual graduations, people to have virtual job interviews, people to do their jobs virtually. And we've done a lot of those things in the past, but on the scale and the level that we're doing it on is unprecedented. So I'm excited to see how we'll be able to take education and just day-to-day living even further with technology, but using technology responsibly to do those things.
Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, the technological advancement is really amazing. And I mean, some of us, we're just trying to earn our degree over, without the technology we couldn't get the degrees. So it's really amazing. I would just like to mention that all the participants, please make sure you use the chat box, because I've seen and the whole idea of this GENIT Summit is to someone who has posted on the group on the chat box that there are entry level graduate roles. So you need to send your CVs at careers@edfinmfb.com. Please check your chat box so that opportunities like this, you don't miss out. I just wanted to make that clear so that everyone can benefit from joining in this session. I'll get over to you, Val. So what do you think? And I think Natalie has mentioned about technology, and all of us are in agreement with technology. But after our discussion, do you think there's anything we're leaving out here that needs to be addressed in terms of schooling, education, and any other external factor that will affect our educational decisions or life decisions? In 2 minutes.
Yes. So yes, I agree with Natalie, and I would love to say that technology has evolved less now. So I don't need an American visa to get into an American school now. Everything has been collapsed online, and I love to share this example with people. You remember that guy that sold analog video cassette tapes on your street 20 years ago? He is currently out of business. Why? Technology has made videos online on YouTube, on Instagram. I'm on Netflix, with just a click. I'm on Netflix and I'm doing a lot of things. I'm watching videos and all that. So because human beings are creatures of necessity, of course, is the mother of invention, and necessity brought technology. So the same thing will continue. The world doesn't go backward, it rather moves forward. So I'll just go ahead to mention certain opportunities you can take advantage of. And like there's Udemy, there's edX, there's Coursera, there's Yali, there's Learn with Google. All of these has made education easy. So you can be in your bedroom and you can get a college degree. I love to say this, that while I was graduating, I had extra certifications from various universities across the board, let's say 20 or 21. So I didn't have to travel to those states or country. So thanks to technology, and same thing will happen 10 years time, 20 years time. Maybe we're not going to be using these phones, we'll just be swiping the air and things will be happening.
Thank you so much, Val. Thank you so much. And I will get to Uju. I'm just reading the chat, and everyone is Uju. I'm just Natalie and Val. I think this session has been impactful to people, and I just want to ask you as a last question, is there anything you feel that we're leaving out here that needs to be addressed in terms of schooling, education, and any other external factor that will influence our educational and life decisions?
All right, first, before I start, I would like to say I love people here. I love Natalie and Val. You guys are just so minutes. Okay, and to the question, yeah, I have 3 things that I want to address. First is the age and gender. Second is scholarship. Third is exposure. I'll pick it one after the other. Age and gender is that, let me say, education in the past, people limit themselves to like, I am overage, I'm not going to go to school, I don't want to get this degree because I've passed the age. No, darling, you have to get your degree if you really want to get this degree. So, and age is not a limitation. I can still remember my mom had her first degree when I have 9 siblings. Shh. So and my mom got her first degree when our last child was finishing her primary school. And she said, I want to have my master's. The day she said she wants to have a master, my dad laughed and fell from the chair. And my dad was like, this first degree that you finished at old age, you want to go back to master's. Do you know my mom has a master's now? And it don't really push you back. I really see it, and every day I keep telling her, mommy, are you going for PhD? She say, let me survive this. So what people and what education is doing right now is still encouraging a lot of people to come in. It's encouraging that you have open universities where you can run 2 programs at the same time. You have distance learning, you have online schools, you have sandwich programs and everything. So if your mom or anybody that wants to have an extra degree is out there, know that the education now can accept you open-handed, and you're going to get it. The second aspect of this point is the gender aspect, especially women. We are marginalized when it comes to attaining more in the education sector. I can still remember there's this guy I met. Then we were talking like, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? This guy just made a statement, and he just concluded to me that it's not going to work. Do you know what he said? He said, Uju, I see you're really very ambitious. I don't think ambitious ladies make good wives. Was the relationship for me. I was like, oh, really? So is being ambitious bad? I never knew. I thought being ambitious is what guys want. You want to help, all right? Yeah? So you want somebody to help you in the farm. So how do you feel that me being ambitious is a problem? So, but this is what I term the guy Olden dates IQ. He has a low IQ, because if your intelligent quotient is sound, you should know that you need an ambitious wife for you to climb. So this time you find out that we the women are marginalized, but no, don't use it. Do everything. I first of all say you're not pushing to be a good wife. You're pushing to be a good person first. When you're a good person, every other thing comes under it. So if you want to get your master's, if you're going to get your PhD, don't say because you are a woman, because you will get married, because you have kids, because that's why you're not going to do that. No, you're going to achieve what you're going to achieve because you are a woman and because you are human, and everybody is achieving it. So be open to it. And I like the education academia right now. We're having a lot of women in the sector. Currently, in my department now, we have more female professors than male. And in Nsukka too, we have female professors coming up. So why not you? Why can't you be the first female consultant in your field? So I see this, that be a woman, be good, and there are a lot of people that want to sponsor you because you have something to offer, because you are into a research that is interesting. This is linked to what I said about owning your project. So if you have a project that is so wow, a lot of people want to sponsor you. I keep telling people, don't compete when it has to do with scholarship, because when I started looking for scholarship, my goals weren't clear, or let me just say my research wasn't so clear. But as things happen, it becomes clear. And right now, I can say, thank God, I can never look for a job. Job look for me. Scholarship look for me. You get? So there's a stage that you will climb. You know that you've already made the table. You are now adding people. You draw a seat and say, you guys sit. We are now on the same bench. So just know that the world awaits you. When you climb that stage, you've already reached. Nobody can pull you down. Babe, you are there. So don't pull yourself out of it. So the third one I'm going to talk about is exposure. Education right now has actually put people to know a lot of things. I still remember during my second year, I had this roommate that was a castle mommy. And this girl would leave her classes. She will miss her classes. She will miss her lab. I think she was in food science and technology. She will miss everything because she's going to the mountain to pray. I don't know who taught her that. I don't know whether that's what they are really teaching them in the church. One day I sat down and said, you're actually missing this. If your pastor is teaching you to leave your classes or leave your career to go and pray, this is not what Jesus taught in the Bible. Go and read the Bible very well. I think even Jesus' dad was a very hardworking carpenter. If he wasn't, he wouldn't get to where he is. So I think education now has exposed people to know that if you are in the academia or you are in your grade, like undergrad, focus in your education, and every other multitasking will be given less priority to what you are pushing to. So I agree, be exposed, multitask, but know that education is the height to pinch, then every other thing will go side by side. So I think with this age right now, people are already saying that people can touch the sky, people are really going places, people are really doing all that. So don't becloud yourself with religion, don't becloud yourself with your background, don't becloud yourself with your limited factors. Shoot the shots, you will be there.
Thank you so much. That was very powerful. If I'm given a chance to have the three of you in a conversation, I will be there on and on and on. But unfortunately, we have to end it there. But I will still need to have 1 minute from you. Just say something. But before that, I want to recognize an audience. His name is Edmond Margai. And why am I recognizing him? Because he was feeding a baby. I mean, it just appeared. He was feeding a baby and just enjoying the session. That to me is really good. I really needed to recognize him, round of applause to him for joining in. And of course, he's feeding a baby. And it means that this session is really interesting to the people. So in 30 seconds, to wind up this session, Natalie, give us, what you think about Grand Africa Initiative, including in conjunction with what we're talking about, preparing life after school, in 30 seconds. Please.
Absolutely. I want to say that I think that this is amazing. I think that the Grand African Initiative is amazing and it's necessary, because so often we can see a problem and say, oh, that's messed up. Somebody should do something. Okay, what's for dinner tonight? And we don't look at ourselves as, how can I be a solution? And so I think that the organization is very solution oriented. And a lot of times it's not even that we recognize a problem. It can be that we see that something is good, but we know that we can help it be great. We can help it be even better. And so I'm in awe of Ms. Chinwe. I'm in awe of having the passion. And I believe that Ms. Chinwe is the example and the personification of what happens when you find your place of impact. What happens when you find your place of impact, and then you surround yourself with people that have also found their place of impact, and then you all create a team to take things from good to great, and you also create a team to problem solve. And so I think that's really important. And I think that that is a great example and case study of what happens when you're not willing to just be complacent. You're willing to go to the next level. And so I am forever grateful for the opportunity to be able to be here with you all and to be able to speak. This means the world to me, because I think that it's important that no matter where we are, that we allow our places of impact to help us impact the world and not just where we are. And so I'm forever grateful, and I would love to keep in contact with the audience members here. You all can follow me on Instagram if you use Instagram. If you're a technology person, some people are like, oh, I prefer Twitter, or I prefer whatever, or some people are like, oh, I don't care about technology, social media. So you can follow me on Instagram at NatWillSpeak, NatWillSpeak, and I'll put that in the chat. And this has been amazing. I've been inspired even by the panelists here. You all were saying things and I'm just like snapping my fingers, which is my way of saying like, oh, that's really good. And so I'm grateful for the wisdom, and that wisdom that I got here will definitely continue to change my life. So I want to thank the panelists for sharing their stories, because you all have definitely even lit a fire inside of me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Uju, your last sentence, and of course, everyone will want to hear more from Natalie, from you, and from Val, but just your last sentence, and of course, everyone can follow you on social media.
Okay, yeah, I would like to say Chinwe is a high flyer because that's how I define girls that are doing this kind of thing, or they're already, I say, oh, I want to make her my friend. She's my clique already. So, so that's how I define girls that are doing awesome things. And, not just doing awesome things, drawing people up. That is the most important thing. Draw people up. As you're climbing, you draw people up. You invest in human beings. And that is what I find very interesting she's doing. She's drawing people up. And Chinwe, thank you so much for this platform. I learned too. I'm not just here to come and talk from every one of you, even from people that have not said anything. Just your presence here have shown me that you really value to be a better person. And so thank you very much for this platform. And I love this platform, and I love everybody in here. And Cynthia, you're amazing. You did a wonderful job. Natalie, you are. Val, you are. And I love being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Val, if you're here, give us your last sentence, please. your last remarks? Probably we lost him. He mentioned that there will be a problem with network, but let's see. Let's give him 1 second. But oh, you're here. Yes.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So I couldn't catch your last question, but
I will just say we were just winding up. Your last remark.
okay.
30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been amazing here since morning. It's been awesome. It's been brain impacting. It's been value. So I think what Grand Africa Initiative is doing is to make sure that African youth participate in making contributions that will favor the global economy, the global market. So Africans, it's time to be the diner and not the food to be eaten, right? So for so many years, we've been the food to be eaten, but now is the time to be the eater. So that's what Grand Africa is doing, making sure that young Africans are stakeholders of things that are happening on the continent. And I'm so happy to be part of it. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have shared my knowledge and wisdom. So thank you very much, Ms. Chinwe. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, all our amazing panelists. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, Natalie Williams, for joining. It's been a pleasure having you. It's been, wonderful. We've learned a lot, and I'm sure every other person on the audience have learned a lot from you. Thank you, Uju Ona. It's really amazing. You spoke from heart because, with your experience, and I'm happy with this panel because I think all of us were talking on a personal experience, so people can relate, with just at a human level, and people can relate with your experiences. Thank you so much, Uju, for being here. It's been a pleasure, much pleasure to have you. And thank you, our very own Valoko, for thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure that we will do this again. Everyone, there will be a session tomorrow, but right this time I will get it to our executive director. She has a few announcements, and then we can end the session. And I hope to see you later, if not in this platform, any other platform. Let's connect, let's grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you guys so much. You guys, this session, as if it should not end, right? As if it should continue. But thank you. This was, some people said it was fireful. Of course, it was fire. And this is exactly what happens when young people come together, because there's this energy that is unique with being young. The vibe is different, the energy is different, the passion is different. And in this situation, these are young people talking to fellow young people, so we can relate. Like, it's not decades apart, okay? So you all have done an amazing job. You've done justice to this topic. Thank you so much. I'm sure if we have more time, people are willing to continue engaging.
Our programs seek to achieve sustainable development by igniting the positive energy of the greater segment of Africa's population, the young men and women. Grand Africa Initiative, GAIN, promoting youth empowerment for development. Join us for a greater impact together.